starting now. Hello, my name is Chaka Chupu, and I love to call myself an ardent student of marriage and relationships because sometimes when you call yourself an expert, you are very tempted to stop learning, and there's always so much to learn. Today, I'm talking about one of my very favorite topics. Very favorite topics: money, money, money. So I've called today Marriage Money Matters. If you're married, you've got a spouse, a husband or a wife, if you've got a fiance or a significant person in your life, in a relationship with, looking at marriage, or if you ever plan to get married, you should be watching this. Hello, Auntie Joyce, to have you join. Thank you so much, ma'am. You should be watching this because consistently money is listed as one of the top 2 reasons for divorce. Believe me, if we fix this, oh my lord, if we fix this, hello Annette, if we fix the money issue, 50% of quarrels will fly out the window. Hi Cindy. So let's see how we can do this and how we can truly get answers and directions. Because is it possible to get money right in a marriage and a relationship? I say yes, absolutely yes. As usual, you're going to need 100% commitment from both parties and the right wisdom and the right knowledge. Okay, so my network connection, I'm going to switch. So if you're there, just hold on. Let me switch my Wi-Fi because I'm convinced that my network... Hello, I'm back. Please, I hope everybody can see me. And if you can't, let me know. If you cannot see me, please let me know. So I just switched networks. One of them is out for me. So first and foremost, what's money? Money is any item, or let's say legal tender, but not really any item for which can be accepted as payment for goods and services. In other words, money is the thing you can give a seller of goods or a provider of services, and they will give you the goods. You can take away the goods, or you can receive a service, and nobody's going to call you a thief. So money sort of puts a structure on society, on buying and selling, on business, right? It's the thing that we use to buy, to sell, and to relate and to get things done. Money is good. Why is money important? Money happens every day. You can't run away from money. You can't hide under a rock and say money. I don't want to be involved in money. As far as you're on the planet, money happens every single day, and it is so important because it causes a lot of the biggest fights in relationships, the biggest fights in marriage, and a lot of times it actually leads people to divorce because it's really that big a deal. So I will start off this session with a talk on the psychology of money. What I love, I didn't coin this. It was coined by Kenneth Doyle, some financial psychologist, called money languages. So I'll try to be as simple as possible. So Kenneth Doyle's, and along with love, all the smart people, said that there are 4 money languages. Now, I don't know how many of you are familiar with Gary's 5 love languages. I mean, those are very popular, sold millions of copies. So 5 love languages, very similar to money language. It just says that when people see money, they see different things depending on their makeup, their nature, and of course their exposure. It means that one person sees money as XYZ, another person sees money as ABC. None of them is necessarily wrong, but you need to understand yourself and you need to understand your partner, because when you understand your differences, of course there's less friction. So first first money language. The first are called the drivers. What are drivers? Drivers are very driven by money. These people, they love to make money. Making money is what really drives them. I mean, it's a great place to be because you need to make money. So when driver ties a lot of his or her successes to money, so if they're doing a lot of stuff that is not generating money, they have the tendency to feel unsuccessful. So for a person who's a driver, when they look at the amount of money they are making in their business or in their career, it's directly on whether they think they're successful or not. So a driver can be a spender. A driver can also be a saver. So there's no hard line for this. The next are the amiables, and everybody loves amiables. For an amiable person, these people see money as a tool of affection. For them, there's no love without money. So they're the person who loves to spend on their friends. They spend on their friends, on their family. The way that they show you love is by buying you gifts, lots of stuff. So if they don't have money, they feel stifled. They feel like, oh my goodness, I can't show you that I love you because I don't have money. But everybody loves an amiable because they're always willing to give you money. So amiables are definitely spenders. They love to spend money, so they are spenders. And then the next set of people, 3, are, the analytics. So just like the name, the analyzers. So these are the planners, the budgeters, the savers. They love to plan, to budget, to save for the day. So these ones are very conservative. They're the ones that will check the price, check it, do projection. If I buy it in 3 weeks, it will cost 5% less. Let me wait. There's a sale in 2 weeks, it will be 15% off. No, I'm patient, I'll wait. So those are the analyticals. So if you're an analytical person, it's a great person to have, because you know what? They always have a little money saved for the rainy day. They never caught off guard. They have a little bit saved here, a little bit saved, and everybody needs that because things happen. You need to be prepared. So finally, the expressives. For these ones, they value money as a sign of acceptance, of respect. They are most likely to cause or to a function or to a group organization. So for an expressive sees money primarily as his tool of acceptance. He feels that is strongly tied to the way that he's viewed by other people. So languages have their pros and cons. If you take a test on yourself and decide which one you are or which one your spouse is, it doesn't mean you're wrong or you're right. Just like the love language or the personality types, everything has an advantage and a disadvantage, and I'll talk about that in a second. So for the drivers are great people. They're amazing people, because guess what? Money is tied to the way they see themselves. They are most likely going to be very successful in making a lot of money. They're going to make lots and lots and lots of money, most likely, because they are driven to make more money. It's a big deal for them. But on the flip side, on the negative, money can be tied a bit too much to their self-esteem. So for example, when they don't have money, they feel like they're not worth much. Nobody should be so tied to their bank account or their account statement that when they have no money, then they are stuck in the rut. So these are the drivers. I mean, they're great people, they're successful people, but they have a tendency to tie their self-esteem too much to their account balance. And then they are amicable, fantastic people. Everybody loves them because they love to spend. They are kind, they're understanding. They're the kind of person you can talk to that I'm going through this, and they're always willing to help. And they're great people to have with you when you're in tough times, because they'll definitely walk you through it and definitely contribute. On the flip side, amiables are most likely going to give away all their money. It's very likely they'll be broke, living from paycheck to paycheck, or even when they do make a lot of money, they won't be able to hold on to anything significant they've done with it, because they're so, oh my goodness, everybody's in trouble, let me help, which is great, but they need a balance. Now, for the analytics also amazing people. They know how to plan, they know how to budget. They are thrifty spenders. They don't just spend over the top. They are great people to be, because they know investments, they know savings. You can't catch them off guard. When everybody's having a dry season, analytic is most likely going to have some money stored away. We can actually do a lot. On the flip side, Mr. and Mrs. Analytic or Mr. and Miss Analytic can be very self-indulged, because when they have so many goals and set targets, they can be a bit insensitive and unempathetic to the environment. They can, maybe sometimes they don't really know how to be in touch with the other side of the human feeling, and they have a tendency to make money a bit of a god, because for them money is security, which in itself is not bad, because in Proverbs the Bible says that money is a defense, because if you're without money, you're really in trouble. So in itself it's not bad, but there's a balance. So you don't put money on the same pedestal as God, and then everything comes after money. So that could be a bit challenging. Now the expressives, oh man, they are great people, they are generous, but they have a tendency to overindulge also, and sometimes their spending can be a way to hide some weaknesses. They overindulge, overspend, buy their friends, because they're being so expressive with their money that sometimes they're covering up a weakness. For each of these, most of the times you can't say you're a spender or a saver. If you look critically at yourself and the way you view money, you are likely to find that you fit into one or two of these categories. Sometimes you can have a dominant money language and one that is maybe not so dominant, but each person has to have at least a dominant money language. Why is this important? Because you need to understand money. You need to understand how you view money and how it is affecting you and how it's affecting your relationship. Just like love, you need to also understand how your spouse, how your significant partner views you, because understanding is the first walk to freedom. When you understand yourself, when you understand your partner, then definitely you can make smarter choices. So I want to talk about the merge. So some people could be married to somebody who has the same money language. So that could be good and bad. In other words, you like the same kind of things. That could be great. But on the flip side, you also have the same weaknesses. So imagine two amiables married together. They will give away all their money and be broke. They're the ones who will spend all the money at Christmas and will have no money to pay school fees in January. I mean, they'll make a lot of money in December, but they'll give it out all away. And then their 5 children will be at home in January because they never planned for their school fees. But imagine an amiable and an analytic married. I mean, amazing. So an analytic provides balance for budgeting, for being prudent, for being frugal, investments, and an amiable provides this fun, because life cannot be that hard. You have to have a plan for having fun. You just have to have a plan for having fun. You absolutely have to. It has to be in the plan that, look, I am going to have fun at some time. So what I'm trying to say is that your spouse being different from you is not a big deal. It doesn't hurt. It absolutely does not hurt. If your spouse is different from you, what you need is more understanding. So I'm going to talk about what I like to call guidelines. I call them guidelines because they are not strategies, they are principles. So they are general principles. Everybody needs to devise a strategy that works for him or her in their marriage. So the overall principle is that if you're going to be married to somebody, you have to have transparency in mind. Overall, why? The two shall be naked and not ashamed. If you have in mind to be hiding pockets of money in different places, you're already in trouble before it even starts. So that was like a blanket covering that we're going to enter this and do this together. There has to be both the man and his wife. No, one person cannot be riding this. And if you're not married, you're in a great place. You need to start to understand yourself, your money language, and what is required of you in the relationship you're stepping into, in the marriage you're stepping into. Why? Because it causes less problems. So I will talk about my guidelines. I will talk about 6 guidelines. 6. Number 1, very important. Money is a big deal. The first thing I'm going to talk about is you're going to need to intentionally submit this area of your life to God. Money is a big deal. Money is a really hard thing to let go of. It's like it's glued to your fist. People hold it and can't let it go. They hold it. It is such a big deal because of, it's like this one that I have this money. Nobody can tell me. And that's where we have greed and selfishness and on and on and on. You need to consciously say, Lord, I submit this part of my life to you. Why? I'm not the Lord of my money. You are. Because when you relinquish so much hold and ownership, you are free. There's like a weight lifted up off of you. Because honestly, money has actually become a god in so many people's lives. It controls all their decisions, their lives. And while money is important, it can't be controlling you. Like I said, it's a great servant. It's a horrible, terrible master. And if it's a master, it's a taskmaster. And it can actually grind you and your relationship to the ground if not managed well. So number 1, please submit to God. You need to submit to the area of your life. I can't say it more. You need to say, Lord, help me with money. Help me, help me, help me. Number 2, very important. Know your money language. Know how you see money and know your partner. So 3 things: know yourself, know your partner, respect and acknowledge the differences. You are different. Respect it, acknowledge. Don't go say, why you not like me? It's just like a car and an owner that says, why is this car always taking petrol? I don't like this. What kind of nonsense car? I'll put water in it. After all, I don't take petrol, I drink water, so my car should take water also. It's not about you, it's about how the car functions. So see it like that my spouse or my significant partner is differently wired from me, and that's okay. That's great, because understanding and acknowledgement is the first step to acceptance, and it's the first step to the walk of freedom. Number 3, value your spouse's opinion. This has to be intentional. Intentionally value your spouse's opinion. I can't stress on how big a deal this is. Please, your spouse is important. Value your spouse's opinion. So I have an MSc or an MBA from Harvard. Your spouse was your choice. When you decide to marry him or her, you decided to take him or her on. They are not insignificant. They cannot be insignificant. When somebody feels valued, they are less likely to be defensive. They are less likely to feel attacked. So it is so important. You must value your spouse's opinion. I can't stress this. I can't stress this. Stress this. I can't overstress this. Number 4, plan and budget. I'll say it again. Plan and budget. You absolutely need to plan and you need to budget. One of the things that happens to people is that they don't plug their leakages. Now, I love the feeding of the 5,000 in the Gospels. My favorite part of that was at the end. Jesus said to his disciples, pick up every single scrap of food left, and 12 baskets were recognized or were realized. What does this tell me? That there's so much that we are overlooking, that if we don't plan, we would never plug our leakages. Now, plan and budget. What does a plan or a budget do? It shows you your values, and it shows you your spouse's values. When the way you spend money is a direct reflection of what is important to you, aka your values. It reduces mistrust and suspicion. My Lord, when you are planning together, you can see everything. There's more trust, less suspicion. People actually are suspicious of things that are not happening. I know spouses, wives who think their husbands are hiding money. The man is actually not hiding money, but he's not actually transparent, or she's not transparent to say, babe, bro, I don't have money. So which means you need to plan together. Thirdly, planning reduces anxiety. When there's a plan to paper, when there's a framework, it helps you to reduce anxiety. You can clearly see what you can or cannot afford. And if there are things that you need to do that you cannot do in one go, you can quickly or slowly start to put money aside. It is so important to plan and plan together. I mean, so how you plan depends on how your income works, but you need to plan. Some people make yearly plans, though I think that's a bit broad. It's okay to make yearly plans. I think monthly plans are great. Quarterly plans are fantastic too. So you need to have a plan. At the end of this, I'm going to drop my sample or generic sample of the budget. So you can take a look at it. You can adjust to fit your family. You can tweak it to fit yours. Like I said, what I'm teaching or what I'm sharing are principles, not strategies. So very important. Plan and budget. It reduces the mistrust, reduces anxiety. I mean, there's so much that gets done when there's a plan and when there's a budget. I can't overstress this. 5th thing, please hold that thought. Please let me take water. 5th thing, and this is also tied to valuing your spouse's opinion. Please take all major financial decisions together. Now let me pause. You have to define what major means in your family. Why I say major is I don't expect that if I'm in the market and I want to buy something and it's 100 naira and I find out it's 120, I call my husband, hello, the Maggi is not 100 naira, it's now 120, can I buy it? Come on, for someone like me, that's exhausting. So I would say make all major financial decisions together. But to do that, you need to sit down and decide what is major to you. For some families, major is 5,000 naira and above, because 5,000 naira is a big deal. So for some other families, it's okay to, you have miscellaneous money, you can spend 50k and that's good, you're fine. Now if I dial back to the budget, I recommend, this is my recommendation, that your budget should have allowance for each spouse to have some free money to spend. Like, let them just have some breathing space. Let not every time you have to do something, please. Because even if when you're pulling resources together, what happens that people complain of a lot of stifling. There should still be some leeway for you to have some sort of money you can spend at your own discretion that doesn't overly impact on the family budget. But that should not negate a plan. So please take all major financial decisions together. In fact, funny side to this, I once heard of a couple who each had a yearly miscellaneous budget of 100 million naira. I'm like, couples goals. When I grow up, I mean, I can spend 100 million and I'm cool. Oh my God. Those are the kind of goals I have for when I grow up. 100 million miscellaneous budget per person, per spouse. Thank you, Jesus. So don't go off and buy a land or a house or something without telling your spouse. It's not only disrespectful, it raises mistrust. I don't use statements like I'm doing it for that's not okay. That's disrespectful. That's not considering your spouse. That's disregard. And the problem when you take major financial decisions, it's likely that somebody knows. For example, when you buy a car, it's possible that I took a colleague along or took a friend along, say, check out this car with me, what do you think? Most of these things, so why not your spouse? And if you are in a relationship and you're not talking about money, you need to be talking about money. Are you carrying your fiance or your significant partner along? This is so important. It will reduce fights, honestly. Because when you trust each other, what this does for you, that when you trust each other and you even need to make on the spur of the moment decisions without your spouse being there, because there's an established trust, your spouse knows I won't just go over your head and do this, except I absolutely have to. They won't cause fights because your spouse already knows you always carry me along. So truth be told, there'll be times where you need to take on the spur of the moment decision, but when you've built trust, you will be fine. You really will be fine. So please, a small caveat here. Please don't play the God said card. I don't know how to say this without affecting people's religious sensitivities. So I see a lot of people say the Lord said I should just do this and I just did that. You see, when the two come together as one, there's some things you can't do anymore. If you cannot empty your company accounts and knowing that you will definitely be called a thief, you cannot empty a joint account you and your spouse have, or your savings accounts. There's no word for it other than responsibility. Please don't play the God said card as a tool to cover financial responsibility, indiscipline, and just lack of regard for your spouse. Please don't do that. That's so rude. Where is that? I dropped it here, I did this as unto the Lord. Can we just stop it? We need to stop it. As much as God lays in our heart to give stuff, is within our discretion to also share with our spouse. Because this is that if we are on the same frequency, if you've done all the other things, building trust, carry them along, planning together, praying together, budgeting together, these will not be issues. The problem is that people haven't carried their spouses along in their finances all this time, and they're suddenly led to do one miraculous thing. If my spouse says I want to do XYZ, my first reaction is, do I trust you? Yes. I may not agree, but I trust you, and that makes all the difference. There are some decisions I will go along with him, or he would go along with me, because in the process we have built trust, and we're still building that trust. So it's so important. Please, please, people, don't play the God said card. It's totally unacceptable. Please, don't play the God said card. God said, he didn't tell me to tell you. Really, don't be funny. Okay, so I'm wrapping this up. Note to single income families: if one person is making the money, or one person is making more money at a particular time, it is never cause for disrespect. Money does not make you more important than your spouse. I will say that again. Your money that you make does not make you more important than your spouse. They are still an equal partner and have a say in how the finances of the family are run. If you disrespect it, you will rain chaos on yourself. There is no way it ends well. If you say I make the money, because you know what, things flip very fast. I've seen one spouse running all about he or she is making the money, and tomorrow things just turn around for the other spouse, and guess what, they never find it funny. I'm not making a case for joint account. I had a gist with someone a long time ago, and I asked him, I said, he wasn't married at that time. I said, would you have a joint account with your spouse? And this is not a case for joint account, because joint account does not necessarily mean you're doing things right. So I can address that maybe at a later time, but just for the record, joint account does not really mean, because people have joint accounts, but they're still sneaking money in other places, so it doesn't necessarily mean anything. Some other people have joint accounts that are stifling them. So back to my gist. So I asked this young man, I said, would you have a joint account with your wife? I know any person was dating at that time. He said, no, God forbid, but waiting now. That's what he said. I now flipped the script. I said, what if she was working in XYZ and I called some highbrow firm where she was probably going to be earning 5 times of his salary? So what if she was working in that firm? Like, we'll have joint account. Do you see that it's not that he didn't want to put his money with his wife? It's because he didn't want to put his money with his wife because he considered himself more important, because at that time his girlfriend who was dating was making maybe 10% or 20% of his salary. Therefore he thought it was more important. The minute I flipped the script and said, what if she's earning 5 times you, Oga became pliant and like, no, we'll put the money together. Do you see? So you must be careful of the seeds that you sow. If you're a single income family or a majority income family, I beseech you, therefore, I beg you, please treat your spouse with respect. Do not use condescending tones that I'm working for you, I'm feeding. Don't ever say that, because chances are that person is more likely doing something that is holding the fort. Please, 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 please treat your spouse with respect. I'm going to drop my own personal family budget on the comment section. You can start to drop if you have questions, comments, clarifications, you can start to drop them. I'm rounding up, and I'll try to take any I can. My time is almost up. So Genevieve says money that you make is not more important than your spouse. Well, actually what I said is that you making more money doesn't make you more important than your spouse. So yes, absolutely true. So to round up, people usually assume that money problems comes because you have money or you don't have money. Not actually. Most times it comes from understanding, from each other's love language or how they treat or see money, and mismanagement of money. So the big question, what if I'm broke? Or what if I'm living from paycheck to paycheck? What if I'm actually making this money but can't see anything? Because it is a stressor. I would say get a financial coach. Now this is not anything high class. Find somebody who has their finances working. I don't mean who has money. A lot of people have money, but they lose money as fast as they have money. When I say get a financial coach, get somebody who has been able to balance income, expenditure, savings, and investment. Because no matter what you're making, if you're not able to save money, you're not living beneath your means, you're living above your means. You must be able to save money, put money aside. You must be able to make investments no matter how small. And this is not about volume, this is about being proactive, right? So what I would say is get a financial coach. Find somebody who money is working for. That is for those who are seeing money but not able to do anything with it. I mean, money just keeps going. Somebody needs to x-ray your finances, income, expenditure, and start to help you to plug leakages. I mean, start to help you to set up structures that make you to save automatically, invest automatically. I mean, give you options. They're not a big deal. This information is more readily available than you would think. If you're broke, my network went out again. Oops. Sorry, my network. I apologize on behalf of my network provider. That's second. I'm using two. I'm alternating between two network providers. So what if I'm broke? What if money is always an issue? Lack of money. I sincerely sympathize, because lack of money is stressful. What you can do in the immediate is also to get a financial coach. So a lot of times people just complain, oh, I don't have money, I don't have money, I don't have money. You need to know the things you can do to move you from point A to point B, even if it's a little or minimal earnings. And then you can start to plan with that. Some people will need to take maybe a quick certification course so they can be certified to probably do, maybe be a content creator or manage a social media page. Somebody else needs to learn quickly how to make maybe anything that uses flour or dough so they can sell. So you need to also sit with somebody who can help you to structure in the immediate. You need to also have plans. For example, if things are not working now, in the next 3 months, I plan to acquire 1, 2, 3 skills that will move my finances. So all these empty prayers of 2020 is my year, I name it, I claim it, I grab it, I have it, would mean nothing if you're not moving in the direction of your goals with strategy. Because no matter how badly I want to go to Kano, if I'm facing worry, I will never get to Kano. So if you're really struggling financially and it's a big deal, and I don't just mean you want more money, all of us want more money. I mean things are tough, or you're living from paycheck to paycheck. You need help. Don't sit down in pride and say, I can do this, I beg, I don't need anymore. You need help. You'll be shocked when somebody peers into your finances, can quickly tell you, oh, plug that hole, plug this hole, plug that hole. You'll be shocked a world of difference it will do. So it's a wrap for me. I will just recap what I said. I talked about money languages, the drivers, the analytics, the amiables, and the expressions. Everybody's different. Everybody sees money different. More important than making money is understanding money, how you see it, how your partner sees it, and how to manage money properly. All the time keeping in view that money is a servant, never a master, never a god. It's a tool to be used. The amount of problems and friction that money has caused ought not to be if we actually put money in its proper place. Our families, our spouses, our children, our relatives will always be more important than money, because money comes and money can go. Get wisdom, get financial wisdom. I mean, smart tips to help you live a happier, fuller life, with your bills taken care of, less stressed, able to save, invest, and able to understand and have honest conversations. So if this is a big deal for you, if you're thinking, Shaka, this one is long, me and my spouse were a long way, don't get overwhelmed. Start small, start very simple. Take number 1, submit to God. Say, Lord, help me. Please help me to not to make money the number 1 in my life. Start with number 2. Say, help me to understand myself. Start to understand yourself, understand your spouse. Because when you understand each other, some things will just make more sense. Will just automatically make more sense. So, thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for listening. Thank you for watching. Sorry, I apologize on behalf of my network providers who were tripping off and on. Please drop any questions you have now or later. I will drop my personal financial budget template on the comment section. And thank you very much. I will wait maybe 30 seconds or 1 minute if there are any questions. If not, I can also take questions in my inbox and I'll be free to help answer. If you also want me to help you with starting up with family or a personal budget, oh great, fantastic, I'll be glad to help. So I'll give 1 minute. If you have any questions, if you have any comments, absolutely drop it and I will read and try to answer in the next 1 minute. Okay, so I'm about to say good night. Thank you so much for joining. Please remember to subscribe to my page, Chaka's Musings. I've got on Instagram. Finally, I'm like last person on the planet to go on Instagram. I went on Instagram a week ago. Finally. So I'll see you next. I have a live video which is in 2 weeks. I plan to do a live video every second and every fourth Friday live on Facebook. As soon as I go live on Instagram, I'll let everybody know also. So thank you so much. God bless you.